not a lot of people got to see what 13 was, right? I got there in, let's see, late June. Game got canceled, I think, in that August or September, I believe. And trying to come from, I'd say, that or what that game was is a huge effort and what that takes to go in. So, my thought process on that, and I'd say with O'Brien and everything else, is like, let's just get it back to the core, get it back to the roots of the basketball itself, and then add. And then me on top of that was, okay, let's take our dribbling system. I was first looking at the community. Hey, what are they saying? Like, what are they wanting from a basketball game at this point? And then that's where we started introducing, the team-specific defenses and the signature dribble moves, and it just really started to go from there. I mean, it's a stepping process. This isn't just something you were gonna flip this light switch on and here you go. It's and not only that. As I guess as a reflect on 14 is just due to time and new consoles, and I mean, that cycle is shorter than you think, and I know you guys being game changers, you guys know that, but it's just the onboarding process, like there's not, even you guys don't even know how to play the game. I mean, the game hasn't been in your hands since 2010, let alone a completely new control scheme. So, with not there being tutorials out of the box, I mean, that stuff doesn't help you. But, due to time, we'd love to get that stuff in there, but we, just didn't have time.
Guys, y'all got any other questions on that one?
Yeah, well, when it first came out, I'm still more so on the positive side than on the negative side with Live, because I root for the underdog, and right now Live is the underdog, and they got a tough hill to climb and dethroning 2K in the eyes of the majority and the general public. And one of the problems that I had with it was animations. And I'm not saying animations in the terms of how casual gamers say, but like how LeBron looks and all that kind of stuff. I don't care about that because, casual gamers get hype off of graphics. Yeah, they look good. They should look good. But I was more so I look at the game and I say, man, it's really raw. It looks like some molding, some more molding here and there animation-wise, and I think it would be on to more of a hitch, I guess, because you kind of have to come into 2K's lane, but you don't want to go all the way there because of the uninterruptible animations that they have that plagues their game, that they said they got rid of but are still so prevalent. At the same time, you want an organic feel to a basketball game, and to me, Live provides that, but some of the animations are lacking in a sense. So it's kind of like, how do you teeter that line between going, because we know, because we behind the curtain, that, animations and things can be put in the game, but you don't want to go too animation heavy, and you can mess up things, and I don't know. It's a fine line that we try to, I guess, explain here on the Sim Perspective, but I understand you being a developer know that there are some things that you can and can't do, and some things that you want to do, and some things that you don't want to do that are similar in 2K, and then also having your own lane, because you want Live to be a separate entity of a basketball game and that it stands out. And I think the groundwork is there. It's just we need to see some more refining. So I think it's a raw game that, like I said, I'm looking forward to 15 and what you all got coming. Not that I know anything, just from a standpoint of looking forward to next year's game.
I hear that. I appreciate that. The thing is I would say too, to second that is since these patches and guys who are continuing to play the game and play it pretty competitively or serious, or if you follow my timeline, you can see how happy they are. And we're still doing that. And it is a process. It's me, guys who've just gotten in there, learning the tech, learning all that stuff. I didn't hear too many complaints about the dribble moves. For example, okay, now let's get everything on that. Let's do this, and let's get that on that. Okay, the shooting needs to feel better. This needs to feel better. I would say, the guys there that we have, I can honestly say, are definitely not satisfied. They know those same things too. We look at it just like you do and go, all right, we got to get on there. We got to fix that. But you got to prioritize things correctly, and you got to attack things one at a time. This bug, if we don't fix this thing could crash the whole game. You run into those issues. You'd want to do this, but it's not, like I said, a flip mode switch, and that thing is fixed. There's a lot of, understanding the tech that we've done and adding the new tech, and just look at, the bounce tech system and releasing the ball to physics, and just not only have you not seen a game since 2010, we're giving you an entirely different playing game. Something that's all about momentum and authentic responsiveness, as to where before, just whenever you move your left stick, the ball just warped right to your hand because it had to respect that. And those systems, those things will continue to iterate on year after year.
Yeah, and I'll say for me that Azure pretty much covered it, and I'm sure Smitty will have some of the same thought as we talk all the time. It's just that I knew going in that the game was going to be, it wasn't going to be 2K. We all know that, and rightfully so, because the game has been gone. So just in theory, the game that's been out there should be ahead of the game that's coming. But I did feel like it was rougher than I thought it would be, as far as, like Azure said, the animations and more and more I spent more time with it. I was able to start seeing the things under the hood that was advertised that is there. But I think what takes away from it is that it is rough sometimes with the dribbling, and it doesn't really seem to, looking at it, it doesn't always look like it differentiates itself from another player, like this guy versus this guy. And then, little stuff like in the paint, I feel like the physics is off. Like a lot of times you can just go right through the paint, or either you'll always knock a guy down. But I see the bright spot. And that's why, I continue to play it, because I see a lot of stuff like the behaviors and things like that, and the bounce. I mean, it's there. It's just that, it's a matter of it now just being, a little more, a little smoother. And then, just from a personal standpoint, live used to always be the game. Like, let's say on Gen 3, it used to be a time when we knew live would look good, but live was kind of behind 2K. And then 2K eventually got their graphics right. So that was the only other thing that kind of shocked me, is I thought at worst, the game would look phenomenal, and then the gameplay would be rough. So I guess, that goes into a little bit of what I was saying, is, saying that I didn't think it would be as rough as it is. But, if you spend time with it and just get to know the game, take it for what it is, there's definitely a lot of good things there if you just spend a little time with it.
Well, and to that point, our art department and everybody else that's doing it, they're learning as well too. I'm sure they want to just load those guys with as much as they can, right? But you're dealing with, hey, you want this game to play at 60 frames a second, and so we're all just learning on top of a new console as well. I'm very confident moving forward in what they're doing, and you'll definitely see that immediately. So that's something I'm excited for. But like you said, it's a balance thing for us, and just trying to take one thing at a time. And the feedback, like I said to you guys since the first day it came out, is just give it to me immediately. Give it to me as soon as you can, as raw as you can. Don't hide anything. That doesn't help us. And making sure it's detailed. Like you guys have been good about that. Is just, hey, this is. I don't like this because of this. Saying, hey, this thing sucks, or this is ass. That don't do me any good, or anybody, in the studio any good, because they're constantly looking at the forums, and they've been real receptive on my feedback on that, and saying, hey, I came from the community as well as playing. Like, there's some serious guys out there, some very talented guys out there. We definitely need to be taking everything they say under advisement, just checking it out constantly looking at it, and I think they've done a pretty good job of that.
Smitty, you got
Smitty?
Now, my feeling in terms of the game, I felt like Sim had said, but, I'm going to expand on it a bit further. Now, I felt the game was rough. I felt the game was very raw. You know what I'm saying? And at the same time, I'm speaking from the standpoint of not somebody that also, like said, has that I understand what developers go through approach, but also at the same time, as a consumer and as a basketball gamer and as a basketball enthusiast. So when I played the game and everything, it felt extremely raw. And when I said it to people, I compared it to Darko Milicic first. Now, what I mean by that is, let me like explaining and expanding on it is, from a first year standpoint, you guys just coming back into the fold of doing a basketball game, and you're doing it on a whole different generation. So you're not even on Gen 3 anymore. And you just got on the team, so you weren't even there yet to really get into the live development at this point. But Live 14, the reason why I say that is because